Video log 709. It's been 12 years since the first bionic film lenses were implanted in our eyes. 6 years ago, during an AI uprising, we were stripped of our ability to see colors. They knew that, with color, we could tell humans from machines. During one of our recent scavenger hunts, we were able to establish contact with Dehancer Group, a rebel group aiming to restore our vision. They reached out to us providing their Dehancer Pro prototype in order for us to give an honest go and try to restore all color. The fate of our vision lies with Dehancer. This is Dehancer Pro. I've used a lot of film emulation plugins, and honestly I can say that the amount of film stocks that you have and the grain alongside the bloom and the halation effects, they're probably one of the best, if not the best, within Dehancer. You can easily go for a dreamy cinematic look, you can go for a Cold War type of look, you can go for any film look that you want. Okay, so let's start from the top quick. So if I turn this off, you can see the difference. It's night and day, and it's only done with one node, as you can see here. So we've only used Dehancer and nothing else. All right, let me go through it. First of all, we have the input tab. The input tab is where you put the source down. If you want to use it within DaVinci, within a specific type of node tree, you can go from a Rec 709 source if you've already have converted footage. Or, for example, if you want to use it as the only color correction tool for your video, you can even go ahead and choose a camera profile. Also, one of the main beautiful things about Dehancer, they got a lot of camera profile. So this was shot on a Panasonic GH5 from one of my previous projects in the vlog format, and I've selected that. Then you have the sliders with which you can control your white balance mostly and the exposure for the basics of your shot, and that's it for the input tab. A defringe if you have some color fringing on the highlights, etc. Great options, a great level of control, easy to use. Then you have the film, which is the most important one. Wide variety of film stocks. Like I said, you can go for a cinestill look, you can go for a color negative look, you can go for an aqua color. There's so many of them, I didn't even try all of them. However, Division is the most famous one given Hollywood, so I've used that one, and the 500T had my favorite look of them all, as I wanted to give it a bit of a dreamy-esque feel. You have a push-pull with which you can actually control a bit of how that film effect goes in, whether it is a cool or warmer contrast, etc. It also can play a bit with your exposure. Definitely a nice slider to have in there for more control. A film developer with which you can have a couple of more controls for the contrast, the gamma corrections, color separations, and the boost. From a review perspective, let me put it like this. The controls are nice, they're perfect. However, if you really want to get into that big level of detail and you really want to tone down on specific types of things and really want to get your color correction from a professional standpoint on point, you're not just going to want to use Dehancer. In that case, you're going to want to use Dehancer as a tool somewhere in between your node tree for some of the effects we'll see later on, but not as the whole plugin as I'm using right now. But as you can see, the result is still insane even just by using this, so there's a lot of options left. Film compression, this compresses your tones, your highlights, and your shadows a bit, so it gives a more flat feel. From a perspective of someone using it for the first time, I'm trying to keep it in human language so you all understand. I put it somewhere in between here because I still want to have that vintage feel. The expand is having more control on your blacks and whites, also gives that contrasty feel, and the print is one of the most important things. What I want to say right out the box, the first things you want to adjust is your input, the film that you select, and the print, in that order. Afterwards, once you do all your changes in the other tabs, you will see what effect it is that you've reached with your print and your film choice, film stock. Because if you don't choose your print in the beginning and you do all these adjustments like I have, for example, right now, and then you go to a linear print, you'll see that it changes everything about it. So first pick your print and then go ahead and make all your changes so that you get the desired effect that you want. All right. There's a tab for color head. This is mostly something like your color wheels, but then a bit more basic, just with sliders. You can gang them together if you want to have that simultaneous effect of moving them. It's a nice, cool feature to have. As you can see, I'm showing a bit how hard the effect is and what it actually does to your footage. And this is where I placed it for this video and the particular look that I was hoping for. You got some shadow tones, midtones, highlight tones that you can edit, preserve exposure and impact here. Lots of controls, but then again, some of these things are maybe better done in DaVinci Resolve itself in a specific node tree. However, the option is there and it's pretty strong, so you can use it out the box. Film grain speaks for itself. Like I said in the beginning, it's the best film grain out there. Actually, I like it more than any of the other film grains, even the overlays or whatever you want it. I think it's the best one, and this applies as well to the halation and the bloom. I think these are really the strong suit of Dehancer. If you look at the bag that we have right here, let me zoom in for you. Okay, so if you look at this bag right here, you will see around the knee the halation that it gives. Once you dial it in exactly as you want it is just amazing, and nobody does it like Dehancer Pro. Really sells the film effect. Bloom is that dreamy feel that you want to have. Again, something you can dial in. You can have it extreme or you can dial it in as much as you want, but it's there and it's the best one out there. You have the glow effect in DaVinci, which gives you a similar result, but the bloom is just so easy. You use the amplify slider and just dial it in as much as you want, and it gives off that perfect little dreamy feel that you want to have in your video. Some other cool features are film damage, film breath, and gate weave. They speak for themselves. Film damage, they give off those little damaged stripes and pins and scratches that you see that really sell that film effect. Film breath is basically when you throw up the impact, you'll see it go and you see it switch between this cyan and magenta type of color, some green, some magenta stuff going in there, and the impact is the slider of which you want it to move around between these colors. So this is also a byproduct of film. Very nice feature to have in Dehancer. Gate weave is basically the fact that it moves around, so you see it zoomed out once I disabled it. If I enable it, it's gonna make sure that the image is just jittering a bit, moving around a bit, and that is gate weave. Also a side effect from film as it moves around while it's being projected. Really sells it as well. I mean, this is what the plugin is for, and it does it really well. Overscan, not a feature that I will personally use a lot probably, but it might be cool for a music video or stuff like that, or maybe if you're really looking to tone down in some special look. I have something made here already with the Ultra 16, and it gives that film reel kind of effect. You can even go ahead to a standard 16, widescreen 35, and then you have that cool film effect. You can play around with it. It's a nice feature to have. I mean, it's just an extra, and it could be pretty cool on one clip or two clips in your video. I wouldn't recommend it on an entire video, but hell, it's there, it's good, it's quality, you don't need any overlay, and you have a lot of controls as well. Then the vignette, also very cool, especially with the mask mode. As you can see, I masked it a bit around her, and the outsides are darkened while she is exposed, which means that of course the eyes automatically go towards her. So the vignette gives you a lot of options. It gives you a mask mode so you can automatically put it where you want it, and the aspect ratio works well if you want to change the shape of your vignette, and the exposure slider gives you a lot of control on how you want to put it. With the feather tool, you can choose how hard or how soft it is, and once you get the mask mode off, you will see what kind of effect you're achieving. Really kind of has that feel of, you know, like she's walking around somewhere in Eastern Europe in the 70s. Cold War type of thing. Anyhow, then you've got the monitor where you can just check your false color. The output, which you can choose with the slider how hard you want the effect to appear or not appear. Of course, with the overscan on, this gives a bit of a weird thing, so you have to turn that off if you want to play with the total impact of the output. And then you can see it zooming out also because we've got that gate weave on. A LUT generator is included because, you know, you can't be putting these on each and every one of your clips separately if you're going to be using it, because it's going to be really hard on your computer. However, you can export a LUT and then use your LUTs instead on other clips if you want to get that same style. When it comes to how much options and settings it has, it's crazy. Like I said, This whole clip has been colored with Dehancer, and you can see it from start to finish. If I remove the effect, it's just a flat vlog image, and then bam, it's film. From a professional perspective, you're not gonna only use Dehancer and have your colors on point and have your short film or whatnot colored and graded and everything. But if you want to sell the film effect on your clips and you want to use some of the details within your color grading tree while still having full control over what you're doing yourself, this is the plugin for you. I'm definitely going to be using it more in my videos, and probably for some of the lazy short content forms I won't use anything other than Dehancer, because I got all that I need just in there, move around the sliders, and it's done. So definitely a must. Apart from that, they also got a mobile application where you can do the same things that you can do like on a computer. You can do this for photos and for videos. I'll show a few before and afters photos and videos that I've edited on a mobile application on the screen, and then you can see for yourself if this is something for you. You can do all these by yourself, you can do all these without a plugin, you can do all these, by researching, etc. But if you want it all in one place and you want a strong tool that emulates it right the way it should, with a lot of film stock and a lot of camera profiles, there is no doubt. You can check Dehancer's website for the pricing, for the licenses, and you can find the right fit for you. If you like this review, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and put down in the comments what you think of Dehancer and if you used it before or if you're gonna use it. Now, a cool little thing that I get to offer from Dehancer is my own discount code. So if you just use the word Synodon, you can get a 10% discount on your Dehancer plugin. I hope you guys liked it, and see you next time.